Welcome to Fan Dummies. I'm Greg.
And I'm Aaron.
Today we're going to continue our Road to Battinson series. This time Batman and Robin with George Clooney. This is a controversial movie and we are going to dig into it. If you are new to Fan Dummies, welcome. We talk about superheroes, sci-fi and fantasy, TV and movies every single week, right to your dome, in the ear hole, in your eyeballs. Depends on if you watch us or if you hear us. But every single week, we're coming at you right in your living room. Very creepily, actually. I mean, you could just be sitting there eating your ramen noodles and bam! We're in your living room.
What about car rides? I like to go along with people on car rides.
Yeah. Take Aaron and Greg with you on your next vacation in your favorite podcast app.
Where are we going?
Let us know in the comments where on vacation you're taking us. We would like to know because we don't leave this house. We don't leave this house. So depressing. All right, let's get into Batman and Robin, 1997. First, let's start off with the movie details because there could be people listening who were born in 1997 or after, and they haven't seen this marvel of a DC movie. Commence the puns. Enter the pun zone.
Goodness gracious.
Batman and Robin try to keep the relationship together, even as they must stop Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy from freezing Gotham City. It sounds compelling. I had high hopes for this movie.
Oh, me too.
As we said, Batman and Robin released in theaters 1997. I had just graduated high school. I was embarking on a life outside of school, and life hit you over the head with this movie. Right off the bat, started off on a downer. All right, Aaron, tell us how much money did Batman and Robin make, and what was the budget? Give us the money.
Well, on the opening weekend, it made $42 million.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
No.
But you said it so confidently.
And it has made $238 million globally.
That's a lot of coin.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's about $100 million less than Batman Forever, which was the movie right before this.
You got to think they planned on that 100 million.
Yeah, I would think. And their budget to make it was $125 million.
We know they spent it. How does this movie compare to Batman Forever? We know it did less by 100 million than Batman Forever, but how much did Batman Forever make on its opening weekend, and how much did it cost to make and all that?
Batman Forever made $52 million on their opening weekend.
So 10 million more.
Yeah, so not too much more, but still a pretty good chunk.
By the way, Batman Forever was considered a blockbuster hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Definitely better than this movie, I think.
Like, Schumacher was high-fiving in all the articles I read from the time. Like, he's done it again. The brilliant Schumacher. Like, I mean, I watched that movie. It was okay, but
yeah,
I didn't leave thinking,
best movie ever.
Right. Pulp Fiction or anything like that. It was like, had no earth-shattering, it was like not Scarface.
Yeah.
It was just a Batman movie.
Yeah. Maybe just because it was so different from Tim Burton's Batman that people really liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, these movies really kind of put a damper on Batman for me because I was a super Batman collector at the time for comic books. It just bummed me out, these movies. But we're not going to be salty throughout this whole movie. We have some fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the actors and let's start with the heroes.
Ooh. Well, George Clooney plays Batman, which is
Ooh.
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And he also plays Bruce Wayne, in
What?
case you didn't know that.
What? That's the same guy?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Secrets.
Yeah,
Don't tell
okay.
anybody. Hope no one else is listening.
Yeah, no kidding.
But at the time, George Clooney was known as a TV actor. He was just pretty much known for ER.
Yeah, it really wasn't that big of an actor.
Mm-mm.
I scrolled in his IMDb and I was looking back at the stuff and I was thinking, he must have been cheap because he hadn't done much.
Yeah. I like the fact that they took a chance on him, though.
Well, I mean, he was on ER.
Yeah, he was in a lot of, like, I guess 80s or 90s sitcoms, too, that surprised me. He was in Roseanne. I forgot about that.
He had so many, like, one episode appearances.
Well, I don't know, he was in quite a few on Roseanne, and then Facts of Life.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that show? Shows our age.
Mm-hmm.
He was in quite a few episodes of that, too. I would think he was a neighbor or something, it said. I don't remember. I remember watching these shows somewhat. I don't know how much, but...
Yeah. Well, they also hired Chris O'Donnell, which he played Robin, and he played Robin in Batman Forever, too.
Mm-hmm.
But he must have talked to George Clooney and got some career advice because he went on to play in Grey's Anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They both want to be doctors in real life. But
He said he was probably like, hey, George, listen, this movie sucks. Like, what should I do after this? And he said, first, I would take 2 years off, which Chris did. Then try to get on one of those medical dramas. That's all the rage. All the rage. I mean, look, got me on Batman. And Chris O'Donnell's thinking, well, I'm on Batman. He's like, yeah, but you're the sidekick. I like making up the conversations I think they have on set.
Yeah, of course. Totally happened.
Then they go, do you think we'll get to meet Arnold? Not sure.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Apparently not.
Yeah. Who else?
Alicia Silverstone. She played Batgirl.
For a minute.
Yeah, she didn't have much screen time, but everybody knows Alicia from Clueless. Craig's favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she's also going to be voicing Queen Marlena in the upcoming Masters of the Universe show that's going to be on Netflix, the Kevin Smith one.
Ooh.
So
See if that's going to be any good. I'm nervous about that.
Yeah. She's Princess Adora's and Prince Adam's mom.
You know what's funny about Kevin Smith?
His movies that he makes? I don't know.
That's the thing. I've never liked someone so much for just them being them and not the stuff that they make. Like, I don't like any of the stuff Kevin Smith is in or created.
You have to have that, I don't know, sense of humor, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not funny or if it's just the content that he creates.
I mean, I like the Secret Stash show, the comic show.
Comic Book Men?
Yeah, Comic Book Men. And I like the podcast occasionally.
Uh-huh.
Because I like him. Like, I think he is funny.
Uh-huh.
Like, super knowledgeable about comics. Really, of the people I want to meet on the planet, he's way up on the list.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't like any of his movies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition of person versus product.
Well, maybe you'll end up liking Masters of the Universe.
I'm hoping so. I try everything. I've seen Clerks, Clerks 2, Clerks 3, whatever. I've seen everything. Mallrats. I've tried it all. Okay, let's chill with the heroes and get on to the villains. I told you it's pun zone. You can just call me Rapunzel.
Oh, gosh. Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze.
You know, I was saying hello.
And he plays Dr. Victor Freeze in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much just has one line that he says.
He has no dialogue. None whatsoever.
But he's got to be like my favorite character in this movie.
Oh, by a long shot.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't like weird or something for liking him so much.
No, Arnold is great. And nobody says he was terrible in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you read, they say nothing.
Yeah, apparently they paid Arnold Schwarzenegger $25 million to do this movie.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get it, Arnold, get it.
And I read that they broke it down to be about $1 million a day.
Wow. I mean, it feels like he worked 25 days on this movie.
Uh-huh.
I'll do just about anything for 25 days for $25 million.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this was in 1997, too.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money now. It's a lot of money then.
Yeah. I mean, he was super popular back then. I mean, he did, like Terminator and
this was his time.
Everything that he's known for was like back in the 90s.
Yep.
So that's cool.
There was also Uma Thurman, who played Poison Ivy, Dr. Pamela Isley. She's also known at the time for Pulp Fiction, which we just talked about because it's an amazing movie. And that came out in 1994. So she was big too. I bet you they paid her big dollars.
Oh, yeah, I bet. All I can think doing the research and watching this is the Uma Thurman song. I can't get it out of my head. Doo-doo.
Yeah. Who else?
Jeep Swinson played Bane.
Mm-hmm.
And he died a couple months after this movie came out, which is kind of sad. He was in the WCW, and he had a couple acting jobs before Batman and Robin. So I guess his career probably really would have taken off even more, after this movie, but he didn't get to live to see.
It's too bad.
See that. But apparently he was hired because he had really big muscles, and that guy was huge.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw some familiar faces in this movie. Actors that have been in previous Batman movies. Who were they?
Michael Gough. He played Alfred Pennyworth again.
Nice. Also, Pat Hingle played Commissioner Gordon. Familiar.
Yeah. It's crazy that there's only 2 people that have lasted throughout all these movies so far.
I know, not even directors or...
Or Batman.
No, not Batman. I wonder if any key grips are the same.
I did see that Schumacher had like a crew that worked with them on both movies. A lot of them came back.
Yeah, that's good. Let's talk a little bit about what we thought of this movie. This is the 4th Batman we have watched in our Road to Battinson series. I always feel like this road ends at a brick wall. The Road to Battinson. We're going to see this movie and we're going to be like, did you think Batman and Robin was better than this or worse?
Oh, gosh. I just can't imagine anything being worse than Batman and Robin.
So tell us, what did you think of the story itself?
I thought the story was pretty weak. I find myself being pretty bored. And we watched 45 minutes of it one night. Well, we turned it on pretty late. So we watched 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, good. Because, I was getting kind of bored with it too.
I couldn't take it.
Mm-hmm. And then the next night we turned it on again and we finished it up. But I don't think I would even have cared to even finish watching it if we weren't doing it for the podcast. And
no, we procrastinated it, actually. We're like, we better finish it.
Yeah.
We're going to have to make an episode.
Yeah. I was pretty excited to watch it, though, because it's been so long since I've watched it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember Mr. Freeze, and I remember, Poison Ivy, and some of those scenes were very familiar, but, I don't remember, exact things about it. So I'm glad that we did get to watch it again. Even though it was kind of torturous.
Yeah. I think it's really fun to watch all the previous movies of one thing before the next one comes out.
Yeah.
Even the stinkers.
Uh-huh. I've enjoyed the last 3 movies more than I thought I would. I'm appreciating Batman more just from going back and watching these again.
Yeah, me too. What about the plot, the actual story?
I didn't like the fact that there's Mr. Freeze and then there's Poison Ivy and they're trying to team up to freeze the world. Poison Ivy is all about plants. The plants are going to die before the humans are going to die. So it doesn't make any sense. You can't think too far into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't keep our grass from dying.
I'm afraid we need to bring in our lime and our lemon or orange tree or whatever we have outside tonight before it frosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot, we need to do that, Craig.
I know. Before Mr. Freeze gets to the plants.
Yeah. So this doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of weak plot points in that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I almost think that they should have just picked one villain.
obviously,
and went with it. But when I think about it, I don't think Mr. Freeze, I don't think that would hold up either. And then Poison Ivy, I think she was a huge reason I didn't like the movie. Like every scene she was in, it just was poor, yeah. And it wasn't Uma Thurman or anything, because I think that if she had the right dialogue, I think it would have been fine. It was too villainous in those Poison Ivy scenes, and it just bored me.
It was too theatrical.
Yeah, maybe.
Like it was too forced. Like the lines were too forced.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to find something good about this movie, honestly.
Me
Unfortunately,
too.
the story just isn't it. I mean, the whole idea, like you said, that they would team up makes absolutely no sense to me. Okay, let's say they do freeze the world. Let's say they win.
Yeah.
Then what? They can't physically touch. The only two people left on the planet cannot even procreate.
Yeah, and they even said, like, we're going to be Adam and Eve. And it just makes no sense at all.
I know. I hope Poison Ivy likes frostbite, because that's what she's about to get. I also think that Mr. Freeze only wanted to freeze the world after he thought his wife died.
Oh, yeah.
It really wasn't his desire to ever, like, dominate the world. Remember, he needed like $1 billion in order to continue his research to fix his wife. To me, I think Poison Ivy created Mr. Freeze's desire to freeze everything, which isn't even in her best interests. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not even in her best interests.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I think I would have liked the Mr. Freeze story even better if he just stuck with stealing diamonds and trying to make his wife better again.
Yeah, if it was like a heist movie.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Freeze was like an anti-villain where you kind of rooted for him.
Yeah.
Because who cares about diamonds when somebody's going to die?
Yeah. He didn't need to team up with anybody.
No, I agree. So let's talk about one of the biggest things about this movie. What did you think of the cinematography?
I mean, I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, I think that was the only reason that I was like, oh, this movie is big budget. You know, this is worth finishing. Because
there were crazy special effects and rockets and cold rays. And
it was very cartoony or something, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I read something about, like, even the toy makers kind of got into, like, creating the sets and the cars and the, you know, like the vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Once you kind of read that, it kind of makes more sense why it is, I think, so cartoony.
Yeah.
It just seemed like we were watching scene after scene of choreographed dance moves and fight scenes that it just kind of got old after like 2 of them. And it was very cheesy, like, too. Like, acrobatic in almost a way that was unnatural for people to be, like, fighting and flipping around.
Yeah, like Mr. Freeze's first introduction into the movie, his hench people were hockey players.
Oh, yeah.
With bladed hockey sticks for weapons. I mean, come on. The cinematography ruined it for me.
You didn't like it?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that carnival fake looking style.
Yeah.
Like, I like my Batman movies like the more current ones.
Yeah.
Like dark.
Well, I think
and high contrasty.
Yeah, I think if this wasn't Batman, it would be better.
He's the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He's not going to ribbon cuttings. He's not a public figure.
Or the whole part where, like, Poison Ivy kicks those people out of that, like, Turkish bath underground place. It was like black lights on, like, the glowing lights.
Exactly.
I don't know what you call that. The glowing.
Yeah, it had like
black light lit.
Yeah, it was all black light lit. The fact that we're supposed to believe that there's a gang of people in Gotham that light their hideout in black lights and paint themselves up in black light paint and just hang out that way. It's really just bad. I knew we were in trouble when the ice skates popped out of Batman and Robin's boots. I thought, that's when it jumped the shark for me.
Yeah, I went back and watched some scenes today, and they're not even ice skating. They're rollerblades. Like, you can see the rollerblade. Like, I was looking at it, I was like, what? There's no way that's an ice skate.
They probably weren't even rollerblading. It probably wasn't even them rollerblading.
Oh, yeah, they're stunt people, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's easy to do when they have the masks and, you know. They're moving around really fast. You can't see them.
Like if I was George Clooney, I'd say like, hey, I only want to act in this movie when you need the top half of me. Anything else, someone else can do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the actors, what did you think of the actors?
It's a hard one too.
It's hard.
Because I hate criticizing them because I think they did what they could with the script that they had. Like, I don't know. I even went back and was watching some of it today, and I just kept cringing. The script.
The script was so bad.
Like, I don't know how they even took it when they were filming this movie.
We'll get into this in a minute because I have a comment about it.
And I also saw online that George Clooney and Arnold only worked together for maybe like an hour on this whole movie. And Chris O'Donnell and Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't even work together at all. Like, that's how like disconnected it feels. And after reading that and I think back on it, it just seems like a bunch of shots that they mixed and matched back together. And
that's exactly right. It's like a bunch of stage shots or staged videos that they clip together into a movie.
Yeah. And even we were talking about it before the podcast today. There's no dialogue. There's no, I don't say something and you wouldn't respond back. Like I would just say something and then you would say something else. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, did you notice how Arnold had like a battery powered light in his mouth?
Yeah.
Like pretty much every scene. I don't know about everyone, but it looked like it was there. And a lot of times it didn't even look like his mouth was matched up with his words.
No, it was definitely overdubbed or something. It was terrible. When you're designing a suit or whatever, you don't put something in the actor's mouth.
Especially when he's kind of hard to understand in the first place.
Right. I mean, he's got an accent.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a hard one. His suit and stuff was really cool, though.
Yeah, we saw that in person. It's great.
Yeah, we'll have to post those pictures on our Instagram or on social media.
For sure. I wish I could pull punches here, but the acting was terrible. The acting was absolutely horrendous. I think the acting was so bad they had to reshoot some of the lines and overdub. You
think?
Yeah. But I equate most of this to the script. You just didn't give anybody anything to work with. I mean, it was just really, really, really poor. There's nothing to act when the script is just loaded with one-liners and puns. You can't get into a character that has no dialogue, that has no personality, right? You have to have interaction with other characters in order for the actor to figure out like what that character is about. What are their desires? What are their motivations?
It seemed like the only real dialogue in this movie was when Bruce was talking to Alfred, and Alfred just had way too much dialogue. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this, like, what are we even watching?
I know.
Like, it just went on and on.
To me, it feels like that whole scene was added just to give it some substance. Because it was obvious to me that whatever Alfred had, Mr. Freeze was going to have the cure for. It was absolutely obvious. So much so, I said it during the movie.
Yeah, you caught it before I did.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze has the cure. It stopped being punny and just turned a little sad. Like, I was just like, please no.
In like a serious setting, like in, Wayne Manor, dark. I think the fireplace was going at the time, maybe. Just totally different look and feel to the movie.
Yeah, just not good. Just not good. Whenever I see a truly horrible movie like this, I mean like a real stinker, I think to myself, when they finished this movie, did they watch it back and go, we nailed it?
Oh.
Like, this, I cannot wait for people to see this thing. It's just nice work, folks. High fives all around. You nailed it, lighting technician. They'll never see those rollerblades, stuntman. Like, We overdubbed. Nobody will even know. We got this.
Maybe back in 1990 when people didn't have high def TVs.
Yeah, everything was just blurry. But no. That is not what happened. George Clooney made some comments to, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter, where he says, he's clearly salty. I'm just preparing you for the salty comments from George Clooney.
This is the salty segment from George Clooney, not from Greg.
I wish I could do a George Clooney impression, but I can't. It's like, Arnold Schwarzenegger was paid, I think, $25 million for that, which was like 20 times more than I was paid. Actually, it's not, George. You were paid $10 million, which is 2.5 times less than Arnold. Not 20 times, 2.5 times.
Well, this is all just what we could find online, too.
And we never even worked together. We worked together one day, but I took all the heat. Now, fair deal. I was playing Batman, and I wasn't good in it. But it wasn't a good film. But what I learned from that failure was I had to rethink how I was working. Because now I wasn't just an actor getting a role, but I was held responsible for the film itself. Sort of. I mean, this happens a lot in fandom movies.
Oh, yeah. A lot. Like the actors are totally held responsible.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, people are so brutal to these actors when they're just like showing up for work.
Mm-hmm.
If you make bulldozers and the bulldozer doesn't start, they don't like, hey, you put the treads on the bulldozer. It's your fault. I see you. Can you imagine if, what's the guy that plays the Maytag dishwasher guy on the commercials? Can you imagine if they're...
You mean the guy from Eureka?
The guy from Eureka. Can you imagine if he's walking down the street like, hey, that dishwasher you sold me is a hunk of crap. Or the Allstate guy. Hey, are you ever going to pay for my roof? Yeah, I'm talking to you. No, I know you're eating a bagel, but I saw you on the TV. You're the Allstate guy, right? Yeah. I need my roof fixed.
I bet it happens. I
mean, it's the same way as like holding George Clooney responsible for a script he didn't write, for a bat suit with nipples he didn't make, right? For rollerblades he probably didn't even wear.
Probably wasn't even him that whole
That's
scene.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't hold the actors responsible. To me, they're doing their job. And I think George Clooney, he did the best job he could with this terrible movie.
Yeah.
But what about the director? Like Schumacher must have thought, beautiful, magnifique. I've done it again. I've created another masterpiece.
Oh, maybe he thought it right away, but not after everybody else watched it.
So what did he say?
Schumacher says, after Batman and Robin, I was scum. It was like I had murdered a baby. That's pretty intense. No, okay. The big question is, did he murder a baby or Baby Yoda? Because that's a big difference there.
He murdered every DC fan person's baby, Batman, which he did poorly.
Ugh.
That interview you're talking about is Schumacher in Vice. So that's George Clooney and the director, Schumacher.
Uh-huh.
But what about Chris O'Donnell? Surely he had a good experience.
Well, he says on Batman Forever, I felt like I was making a movie. The second time, he felt like he was making a kid's toy.
Ooh, because this is his second Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people make it to 2. Alicia Silverstone must have something good to say. In a new interview in The Guardian, this happened like in April of this year, Alicia Silverstone opened up about the emotional toll she suffered being body shamed by the tabloids in her role as Batgirl. Can you imagine this? Some fan person is looking at the comics and like holding it up to Alicia Silverstone and going, doesn't look like her.
What?
Yeah. They said she was too fat.
Oh.
Too fat to be Batgirl. Can you imagine that?
She looks
She's
skinny.
fit.
Yeah.
Like she was 18 when this was filmed.
People are so mean. And the funny thing is, it's tabloids that were shaming her. I mean, I don't know if they still make those tabloids because I never go to the grocery store anymore. But I know, like, back in the 90s, I mean, those tabloids were crazy. Like, you would just go in the checkout aisle at the grocery store and you just be tabloid. Like, they just say whatever they want.
It's like, the dingo ate my baby. Or I was abducted by aliens and implanted with a secret microchip that the Russians listen to.
Yeah, but it was also a lot of celebrity gossip.
Yeah, they would just say whatever.
Yeah. And back in the 90s, it was probably easy to get away with stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard to fact check.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian's reporter was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And they reminded the readers who are reading this that it's Joel Schumacher's critical and commercial fiasco that gave George Clooney's Cape Crusader nipples and Arnold Schwarzenegger top billing as Mr. Freeze just for uttering the lines, chill. And they go on to say it nearly killed the franchise until Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy came to the rescue. Speaking of press, HollywoodReporter.com also reported on this. What did they have to say?
They said the film has inspired an entire cottage industry of internet videos and articles pointing out its flaws. And that is true.
Oh, it's so good, though.
So true.
So good that we're going to have a segment in a minute where we do something similar.
Oh, yeah. In a way, it continues to entertain people through those very articles and videos. It's entertaining.
I like ending on this article because it's kind of positive.
Mm-hmm. They go on to say that the continued interest is something that surprises Schumacher. Is it popular for all the wrong reasons? He asks with a laugh.
Yes. It's like how people watch car accident videos on YouTube. It's just morbid curiosity.
I don't know if it's that morbid curiosity.
That's
extreme.
Bad. It's bad. It's bad. So we decided to just browse over to Rotten Tomatoes and just see what the tomato score for this bad boy is.
This has to be the worst we've ever seen. Is it?
It's gotta be close. But 93 critics watched and ranked this movie.
Doesn't seem like a lot for how long the movie's been out.
11% is the score it got. Terrible. The audience score, 554,000 people reviewed this.
That's a lot of people.
That is huge. That might be the biggest we've ever seen. 16%. The worst reviewed movie we've ever had on this podcast. 102 episodes.
Now I kind of want to go check them all. Because we don't always look at the tomato meter.
Yeah, but when there's a real stinker, we do. If you would like to support Fan Dummies, check out our Patreon. Sign up for our superhero tier to get early access, ad-free, and extended episodes, both audio and video. Just go to patreon.com/fandummies or click the link in the show notes. It's a great deal. You get extra bits.
Have you looked at the tiers lately?
No, did you change them?
Well, Baby Yoda is hungry.
What?
Yeah.
We added a tier?
You can feed Baby Yoda a frog.
Is it just a one-time thing?
It's a monthly tier, but it just supports us and everything we do. And we'll give you a shout out. And since it's promoting, Baby Yoda and kids, we just want to keep it to people, not companies.
Oh.
So.
Nice.
And you'll get the one-time shout out.
So one-time shout out for buying Baby Yoda a frog.
Yeah, but every month we'll buy Baby Yoda a frog. So he won't go hungry.
Sounds like a good program. Check out patreon.com/fandummies. Buy Baby Yoda a frog. He likes them.
Clover gets a little hungry too. She might need a tear.
Yeah, there you go. It's tough to compare the Batman movies with a movie this bad. I mean, I feel like we were on a downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Batman just isn't the actor It's also the script, the lighting, the tone, the sets. Batman is more than just the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's hard to compare the actors and the Batmans, it's not Batman, right? It's Batmans, because many Batmans.
Batman.
Can't be Batman, because they'd all be there together. It has to be Batmans.
Batmans.
We're going to try to do it. We're going to try to compare them. We're going to put them in a list next to each other. We're going to scrutinize them. We're going to look at them. We're going to poke them, test them. Out of all three so far, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney, who looked like the best Batman? Use whatever non-scientific factors you want. Build, looks, facial expressions, breath, hair gel, whatever. You can make whatever generalization that you want.
Yeah.
Comparison that you want. Who was the best Batman?
I think out of these three so far, I picked Val Kilmer.
Ooh.
Is the best.
Wow.
And I thought that Clooney was probably going to be better, but I just can't get past this movie and his lines, and I just couldn't get past it.
Okay. So you can't, even when you disregard the lines, Val Kilmer's better.
I still think he's better.
Okay.
I think he looks more like Batman. I think George Clooney does look pretty good when he wears the suit. And I think that the suit might look a little bit more modernized. Maybe just a little bit. Because, I mean, these movies are only shot a couple years apart.
True.
They don't look too different to me. I don't know. I still think Val Kilmer is the best Batman.
Okay.
So far.
All right. Perfect. I disagree.
Who do you pick?
Clooney is the best looking Batman so far, without a doubt.
Uh-huh.
I think Keaton was probably the better Batman overall.
I just think that the Keaton Batman was so old. And when I think of Batman, like, I think of him like
he's the suit.
I don't know. I just can't get that out of my head. How he's acting in that really bad suit.
The voice and the mannerisms of Keaton were just great. But Clooney had no chance to act with any drama.
Yeah.
So for the best Batman, I'm going with Keaton. Not as good looking as Clooney.
Keaton?
But I think the better Batman.
I would pick Clooney and then Keaton. That would be my order.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
So Keaton's last.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now.
But I think that's just because of technology, and he's just like a little dude too. I don't know how he could be Batman.
Well, I mean, they didn't shoot him like from the top. All right, now let's do the same thing, but with Bruce Wayne. No rules. You can use any methodology you want. Who's the better Bruce Wayne?
I still think Val Kilmer is the better Bruce Wayne.
Ooh.
I think Clooney is pretty high up there as well. I would pick him second. I just think that we saw Clooney as Bruce not that much. Like, there was a couple scenes with him, and he was usually with his girlfriend, and either the girlfriend or the reporter were pushing marriage on him, or he was talking to Alfred. There might have been one with Robin and Batgirl, but there wasn't much screen time of him not in his batsuit.
Yeah.
There wasn't even that much screen time of him in his batsuit.
He went to dinner with Elle Macpherson. He went to a ball where Poison Ivy was there.
Yeah.
He was in the mansion a lot and talking to Alfred.
Yeah.
For me, Clooney wins this one hands down. Michael Keaton, a.k.a. Mr. Mom, was a terrible Bruce Wayne. Hated it. Val Kilmer was better, but in my opinion, Clooney looks rich. Like, you just look at him, you're like, oh, that guy's rich.
You don't think Val Kilmer looks rich?
No. I see Val Kilmer in Top Gun. It ruined it. He's like he looks more like a military guy to me because of that movie. Like, totally typecast. Iceman.
I guess I don't have that feel, but maybe we need to go back and watch Top Gun so I can get that feel.
Yes. Yes. Now you're talking. All right. Which Batman movie had the coolest Batman tech? I'm talking suit, Batmobile, Batcave, Batwing, that kind of stuff.
I would say Batman Forever has the coolest tech we've seen. Just because I really like the Batmobile, the Batwing, and the Batboat that we saw.
All right. Got it.
That's pretty much why this movie, I don't think we really saw much tech from Batman.
Nothing.
He had like that little circular, it looked like a cell phone, but one time it was on the steering wheel when he was driving, and Commissioner Gordon called him, which was really cheesy when you go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then also he used it to show Mr. Freeze that, Poison Ivy killed Mr. Freeze's wife. And I thought Mr. Freeze has the coolest tech in this movie.
Yeah, but you think Batman Forever had the coolest tech with Batman?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Mr. Freeze in this movie has the Freeze mobile, the Freeze gun, the Freeze suit. I'm just going to call it the Freeze because that's what we call the Batmobile and the Bat suit. I thought that made the movie cool. Like, he had LEDs or something in his Freeze suit that glowed.
For sure.
It was really cool.
It was super cool.
I thought his Freeze mobile was the coolest.
Cheesy.
It was super cheesy, but I liked it.
Cheesy. For me, it was the original Batman movie.
You think?
The original Batmobile with the armor and the little bombs that drop out of the wheels and the way it can like shoot the little harpoon and drive up buildings. The jet engine on the back of it. It takes a lot of... It
has like that little bob and weave when it drives down the street.
Yeah. It takes a lot of bat boats and bat wings to equal the coolness of that car. Like, we saw that thing in real life and it was cool. It was cool then.
Yeah.
It has a little plate that comes down like boop for it to turn to go back the other direction. Like, everything about the Batmobile in the first movie was thought through and very cool. As far as movies go, the first Batman movie, by far the best Batman movie so far.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one too.
Yeah. All right. I think everyone can agree that Batman and Robin was a terrible movie. The interesting thing is that it's so terrible that it has become like a B-movie style nostalgic thing.
Not a D movie or an F movie? A B movie?
If you accept that this movie is bad, it becomes entertaining.
Yeah.
One of the most notable things about the movie are the one-liners. It's hard to call many of them puns because they're not funny.
Yeah.
But there are puns mixed in. Let's talk about the good. Let's pull the good out of this stinker.
This was hard. This was super hard for me.
What are your top favorite one-liners?
Let's kick some ice.
That was good. That was good.
You're not sending me to the cooler.
So Mr. Freeze had the best ones for you?
Yeah. I don't, maybe just because his were so punny. Like, and it wasn't like I was like, oh my gosh, that's really funny or really great. But I think the way that Arnold like expresses himself being Mr. Freeze, you can tell that he was enjoying being Mr. Freeze.
Arnold digged the dialogue. He's like, I can do this. Oh yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
I'll be back. You're not taking me to the cooler. All right, mine are, why are all the gorgeous ones homicidal maniacs? Is it me? I really like this one because it's a callback because of Catwoman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, Batman always attracts like the evil women villains.
He likes the bad girls, maybe.
He likes the bad girls.
Yeah, this whole movie was so cheesy because Batman and Robin were fighting over Poison Ivy. And it wasn't even like true love. It was like the pheromones that she was blowing out into the world, and it's just cheesy.
My next one is a Mr. Freeze one. And it's when he's aligning the satellites to freeze Gotham City. He says, if revenge is a dish best served cold, then tonight hell freezes over. I thought that was clever. It sounds like something that a villain would say, even in a serious movie, right? Think about it like a real serious movie, about to flip the switch, and the villain looks over and says, if revenge is a dish best served cold, then tonight hell freezes over. All right. Well, that was good. I liked it. All right. What about the cringiest?
Well, I want a car. Chicks dig a car.
Chicks do, in fact, dig a car.
This is why Superman works alone. Like, he was right in the opening of the movie, and they said that, and I looked over at Greg, and I was like, oh, come on. Like, what are we watching?
It's so bad.
I had to pick that one.
I mean, I think everyone digs a car. So I guess it's a factual statement. But you need a car. So,
And this is why Superman works alone. I mean, it's okay to have a sidekick.
I don't believe Superman works alone because Robin wants to continuously drive his car to pick up girls.
Oh, gosh.
All right, what else?
The line that Poison Ivy says to Batman, there's something about an anatomically correct rubber suit that puts fire in a girl's lips.
Ooh.
I had to pick that just because the Bat suit and Robin's suit, even Batgirl's suit, are so anatomically correct in some ways that they almost need to wear clothes on the outside of their on the outside of their suits. Like, if you think about it, why? Why? I mean, I like a nice body just like everybody else, but why?
Mine was when they were going up in Frieza's rocket. Freeze jumps out and Robin gets in the rocket and he and Batman. By the way, Robin does nothing, gets in the rocket, climbs in. Batman is already dropping the bomb. Robin is absolutely of no value in the rocket. None whatsoever. He gets in the rocket ship and is like, oh, bat bomb, basically. And Batman's like, oh yeah, I'm going to blow this rocket up so it doesn't crash and kill a bunch of people. But that's not the line I'm talking about. Those are all bad. But they kick the door out and Robin yells, surf's up.
Oh, and then as they're surfing down, he yells cowabunga.
I just cringed. Like, you're 30,000 feet up. You just open the door. The only thing you're going to be yelling is this. Ah! You're not going to be like, surf's up.
How did they keep those doors on their feet?
It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
It works, right? That's real science.
No. Not even a little bit.
I was like, Greg, where'd they get those surfboards?
It's like an aluminum door. Like, it's a metal door. If anything, they both fall at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, they fell pretty fast. There's no way that they would catch up with Mr. Freeze. Like science. Don't they do the
everything falls at the same speed. Yeah. If anything, the door is adding a little bit of friction so they would fall slower.
Yeah, probably. And Freeze had the cool suit that has like the freeze wings.
Oh yeah. Oh, maybe he was going slow then. Maybe he was slowing down. When Mr. Freeze is being brought into Arkham Asylum, the cops say, "You are the common cold, and we are the cure." And then he proceeds to go, bash their heads together. Oh my God, it's so bad. I mean, of the movie, we've reduced it down to 4 funny one-liners or puns and 4 terrible ones. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, if you have a favorite one-liner from the movie, drop it down below in the comments.
Oh, no.
I want to hear these. I want to hear them.
Oh.
If you enjoy the punny ones, put those. If you just like the one-liners that Batman or Robin say, still somewhat punny.
Yeah. All right.
I want to know. Because this is a fun topic that you see a lot online.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's get into the meats. The meats. The juicy meats.
This is the best part. This is the part I've been waiting for all night.
Yeah. Do we think George Clooney will do better or worse than Robert Pattinson in the new Battinson movie? I don't actually know what the movie's called. I'm sure I could.
It's called The Batman.
It's called Battinson.
The Batman.
The Battinson.
Yeah, there you go. We forgot the sparkle noise.
Yeah. Too bad. Aaron. Robert Pattinson, George Clooney, who is the better Batman? Just based on what you know right now.
I'm going to have to go with Robert Pattinson.
Come on. Really?
We've
seen clips. We've seen sneak peeks.
Yeah. He's vengeance. I know that. Robert Pattinson is. George Clooney's just Batman still. He hasn't got to that perfection yet.
I'm vengeance.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the better Bruce Wayne?
I'm still going to go with Robert Pattinson. I'm still a Pattinson fan.
George Clooney, that's got to be a knife right in the heart,
I
man.
like George Clooney, but I like Robert Pattinson.
You're going with Sparkle Batman.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Robert Pattinson does not have the gravitas necessary to pull off Bruce Wayne. You can put anybody in the Batsuit. You just put shoulder pads on it, put tall boots on it. Who's in the Batsuit is completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Half the time it's a stunt double anyway. Bruce Wayne is where the beauty of Batman comes out.
Well, who do you think?
It's Clooney. In my opinion, they should have went back to Clooney and said, dude, do you want to try again? He, with a good script, a good director, and a good story, vibe, sets, lighting, everything, he could be a bad ass Batman for sure.
He just doesn't really have the Batman look to me. He's too like cartoony. I don't know.
Not in his older age. In his older age, his like jaw is more defined.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'd play an older Batman.
No, yeah.
But he could totally do it.
It looks like the movie's going to be dark. And I think
But don't you think Robert Pattinson is too small to play Batman?
He's been working out. We saw him. They barely saw him. We saw his Batsuit. I mean, I don't know what's in the Batsuit.
I know, but you kind of have to be
cushions and some stuff in there. But
I mean, think about it this way: Batman has been training since he was a little boy.
Yeah,
every day, he's a big dude.
Yeah, but George Clooney is not big at all. Like I thought that was one of the downfalls of George Clooney. Like he has the Bruce Wayne look to him, but he doesn't really have the Batman look to him.
George Clooney probably is a little too old to be able to pull this off anymore, but he's got a bigger frame. Like he's got broader shoulders. Yeah. He's just a bigger dude.
I don't know. We'll have to watch the Batman and find out. They're back on production on the Batman. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is good.
I mean, it's like Ben Affleck, right? Just kind of a tall, lanky dude.
He got
big as he could get.
Yeah.
But he's still just kind of a tall, lanky dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We're going to watch the Ben Affleck Batman movies. Not a Batman movie, but the ones where he plays the Batman.
Are we going to have to watch those on our road to Battinson?
Yeah.
It's every actor who played Batman. Yeah. We have to watch every movie where
That's
Batman
what's gonna
makes
be fun.
An appearance.
So we have the Christopher Nolan, the Christian Bale Batmans to watch, those movies.
That movie blew me away. I saw it in the theaters.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like them. And then we have, Batman versus Superman. We have the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
We're going to watch those.
The Snyder Cut.
Yeah. If it's out.
It's out.
Or whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while. We're going to be on this road for a while because the Batman movie's not going to be out for a while.
Yeah, we're just taking it slow. We're going slow down the road. Just, we have a episode gap here and there, or we feel like watching a Batman movie, which is good. Anything else you want to say about Battinson? Either what's coming up or what we've watched so far. Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah. I love it. Even though this movie was not the best, I think, of the Batman movies that we've seen.
The word you're thinking of is a stinker.
Yeah. I still really enjoy watching them.
Me too.
And it's making me appreciate Batman more and more as we watch them. And I cannot wait to get to these Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Just cannot wait.
So far, the best Batman movie we have watched so far is got to be one of the animated ones. Like the animated Justice League movies.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the original Batman was pretty good. The Justice League Dark movies with Batman in them were good.
What was the one that was like in Russia?
That was Superman Red Sun.
Oh,
Batman was pretty good at that,
yeah, I like the Batman and Superman Red Sun.
Yeah.
He was like the Russian Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He had on like the little hat cowl.
Hat,
I like
hat
that.
cowl.
That's the only reason. No, I'm just joking.
I put on this bat cowl and my ears stay warm.
Yeah. Yeah, Superman Red Sun was pretty fun.
Yeah, Superman Red Sun was great. Nothing else? No Batman comments to make at the very end?
I'm just glad they're back in the works to make it so we can get it.
Me too. I can't wait to. And all jokes aside, I always hold out. Like, Ben Affleck surprised me with Batman. It was better than I thought it was. I know Robert Pattinson will be better than we think it is. But I love talking about Sparkle Batman.
I have high hopes for Pattinson more than Greg.
Yeah. You were always
Edward? Team Edward?
You were always Team Edward.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he's a pretty good actor. We've
is.
seen him in stuff after that.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think that they would cast him if they thought he wasn't.
It's going to be fine. And with that, thank you for listening to this episode of Fan Dummies. Please subscribe, rate, and write us a review if you haven't already. If you want to hear your name on the podcast, buy Baby Yoda a frog, and we will say your name every time you buy a frog. Could be every month. We'll also, if you don't want to buy Baby Yoda a frog, we'll say your name on the podcast if you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That's right. We'll read your review and your name. So that's 2 ways to get your name on the podcast. As always, links to our Patreon, Facebook group, and our merch will be in the show notes. Don't forget to look in there. The show notes got some good stuff in there. The show notes are good. Look in the show notes. The show notes. If you want to reach out to us, we are at Fandummies on all social media. We reply. We talk. We like social media. Aaron's all over the gram.
Wait. Do you like my Baby Yoda Halloween shirt that I am wearing? Because if you do, go on social media and tell me. Or leave a comment down below.
I'm going to tell you right now, I really like it.
It's awesome. It's got a little dog hair on it because Clover was sitting on me. But it glows in the dark. I haven't tried it out yet.
Also, shout out to Ordinary Adventures. We've been watching their Galaxy's Edge stuff like mad. And we just watched them do some Halloween shopping. We realized how lazy we are.
How we never leave the house.
We have not bought anything. What's funny is Aaron's ads on Facebook and internet now are nothing but Halloween stuff.
Oh.
Which is super funny because, it's just a reminder how lazy we are for decorating the house.
I like decorating. I just don't like putting it away.
Yeah.
And then you got to have a place to store it. And I mean, we have room, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just more stuff that you have. You only put it out for like a month and then you put it away.
I wish there was like an app on your phone where it was like augmented reality, where you can just hold it up around your house and see your decorations. You can put the stuff on your shelf. You can put the things, you can move the stuff around, and then you can post your pictures on Facebook and like it's really there. And you can pretend like your house is all decorated, but you don't have to have the stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody make that app because that would be super cool. We could decorate our whole house.
Yeah. I think the problem is we already have a lot of collectibles around here. So Yeah, you got to put those away to decorate, and just a lot of work.
Thanks again for listening. We appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming back again and again and again every week. The podcast is doing great. The YouTube channel is slowly growing.
Yeah, subscribe. We'd appreciate it. It helps.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. I got the coolest t-shirt today.
You do.
Coolest one. I'm going to wear this every
Mine's
day until
Galaxy
Halloween,
Quest.
so I hope you like it.
You might want to wash it.